G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in on the east side of the map, playing in the colour pink as the Rus. We've got Fei-Chan. And on the west side of the map, in the colour blue, playing as the Abbasid dynasty. I'm not sure exactly what's going on with this guy's name. It says at the beginning, Bushaoshin, at the beginning, and then at the end it's all Japanese. So I've got no idea what that says. But yeah, the beginning of his name is just basically careless. So we're going to be calling the blue player careless over here. On the Abbasid dynasty, I'm looking forward to seeing what comes out for anybody who is unfamiliar with these two players. The blue player currently in the top 50, pretty solid player. Fei-Chan also in the top 50 for anybody who is interested in seeing some content, some Age of Empires content. Make sure you go check out her stream. I'll leave a link in the description to where you can watch her live over on Twitch. She streams quite often. I check out her stream all the time. She's great. She plays a lot of different civilizations, but it looks like we have got ourselves, it's happening once again. This is the new meta at this point. The Rus, obviously, a civilization that I think initially when Season 4 came out, everybody was looking at it and like, D tier, F tier, we're going to create a new tier just for the Rus. And then people started doing the forest, the hunting cabin, the deep, dark dive into the forest. You got to be so careful with these villages. You can see Faye stacking up plenty of wood on these villas as she dives in towards the center, because in the event you do hit the cap of 10 wood, your villager won't be able to chop. It won't even be able to chop down any of the trees. It will just return back to the town center. So it can be a little bit unforgiving if you do forget it. So Faye's going to be paying a lot of attention to these villagers, making sure that she's not skipping a beat. And there we go. You can see her picking that up straight away. Really nice job by her. And it looks like she's actually going for a central hunting cabin, which will be really, really nice. Now, before we get into it, make sure you check out the Patreon. I'll leave a link in the description for that one if you're looking to improve. You can check that one out there. And there you have it. There you have it. Double hunting cabin, but this is it, right? Like, let's take a look and see her villas. Okay, so she does already have the tier 1 bounty coming through. We can tell by the glow on these villages. So these hunting cabins are going to be pretty high, but this is actually, I mean, this is pretty much the perfect hunting cabin. I think even these trees are technically in, as long as the ring does touch. So she's only missing 1 or 2. So I reckon this is pretty much as close as you can get to having a perfect hunting cabin. If you ride on board with her, you can see that like the ring kind of like, look, that's the best you can get it by far. Well done to Faye. I'm loving this. Let's check this one as well. Looks like this one probably could have gone up maybe like 1 more tile up that way, but 53 a minute on the first one. 50. This hunting cabin is crazy. This is ludicrous. That is insane. That's 110 gold. For anybody wondering, okay, a villager at this point in the game is generating like 36 gold a minute on this gold vein. When wheelbarrow comes in, that goes up to like 41, 42. You're talking about, like, this is, from the 3rd minute in the game, 110 gold. That's 3 villages that she just gets out of thin air. Imagine if I just told you, hey, congratulations, it's 3 minutes into the game, here's your 3 villages. That is crazy. That is crazy to think that that's balanced. I mean, that is just, it's ludicrous. All right, age up coming through. It's a little bit late, so don't be surprised if she uses a couple extra villages on it, and it looks like 7 villas going to be coming out. I suspect it's going to be the Kremlin, and of course it is Kremlin going to be going down towards this top side. So I'm almost tempted to suggest that she will probably lure the boar to around like here, as close as you can get it, then throw the hunting cabin down, and then she can utilize that boar. Obviously you want to go as far out towards that boar as you can, but at the same time you want to utilize the bonus that the Kremlin provides to your hunting or to your lumber camps. So that's a really key factor here in her decision making, but beautiful little spot here. Now on the other side of the map, she's going to be scouting out what her enemy's up to, also going to be getting through the wheelbarrow. But let's ride on board and see what our Abbasid hero or heroine, depending on who it is that's playing, is going to be going for. And take a look at that. It's Trade Wing. This is one of the landmarks, or I guess you could technically call it a landmark. I mean, it's one of the wings that Don Artie has talked about multiple times before. I mentioned this in the game that GUA played. Don Artie absolutely loves the trade wing, and he says, look, Drongo, it's very simple. Basically, you open up with the trade wing, and you get 3 traders, and from there, what you're going to do is just leave those traders, let them do their thing, and if they survive, they survive. If they don't, they don't, and you're just going to play standard. So I'm curious to see what Abbasid is going to be looking to do here, whether they're going to be looking to add in more traders or whether they're just going to be looking to leave this. But 440 into the game already, coming out towards that trade post. This is a super early trading line, but immediately Faye now going to be moving out towards that boar. Look at the line of sight that we've got through. I tell you what, this Kremlin, it is beautiful. All right, so she's going to be looking to pull the boar here. Is she just going to... actually, yeah, she could just pull it up to this northern position instead of going and then drop the hunting cabin here. Because remember, she's got access to the hunting cabin. Scout going to be careful. I don't think it will go down here. The boar, it loses its life very quickly. And there we go. So... let's check in on these hunting cabins again. 57 still and 53 for the second one. We do see survival techniques coming in. Beautiful timing on this survival techniques, and looks so smart by Faye as well. Not actually gathering the boar until survival techniques comes in. Just going to be using all the vills to rush it up. So one of the things you can do is like you use like 7 vills to collect the hunting cabin, or to collect the boar, and then have just 1 vill building the hunting cabin. I think you probably need 2 actually. So it would be 2 and 6, but then that way you can kind of like maximize your efficiency. But she just says, you know what? We don't even need to do that. We're just going to wait for survival techniques. Very smart move from her. So, over on the other side of the map, for our Abbasid player, we've got a stable. The first of the horsemen is on the way out, but obviously Faye going to be doing the right thing, the smart thing, and immediately throws down a wooden fortress to defend this position. So, really, really nice play here. I didn't actually realize, but we do actually see the Abbasid player going for a double scout, which is kind of rare. You don't normally see this. Horseman going to be coming in. Beautiful timing on this horseman, but it looks like the outpost or the wooden fortress will get up on the other side of the map. The early gold from these traders going to be coming through. Already picking up the upgrade that provides that extra resources through for our careless Abbasid player. And now we've got the first trade landing in at just under 640. I tell you what, this is a great timing. Have a look at the resources that get plopped in here. Up to 471. Fresh foodstuffs on the way. Expect to see a whole bunch of eco upgrades at this point. Expect to see wheelbarrow, double broadaxe, maybe even specialized pick here. There's a whole lot of things that you can do with all of this gold and look to really leverage the power that it provides you. On the other side, though, I would be expecting that Faye's going to be moving into a knight, because Faye would be aware of the fact that we've got that trade wing over on the west side of the map, and we'll probably want to be challenging that. And there's the upgrades now coming through for our Abbasid player. So it's going to be wheelbarrow, it's going to be double broadaxe, and there could be the potential for a feudal age play here. But to be honest, I kind of like just going straight to castle with the Abbasid. Going into the culture wing's been really effective for a lot of Abbasid players. Just allows you to get all those tier 2 upgrades at a much cheaper cost, and obviously go Imperial as well. But look at this. We got a battering ram coming down. This is a bit strange, honestly. I don't really like the battering ram, just because it's so hard to take out a wooden fortress. It is incredibly hard to take out a wooden fortress. Remember that there were outposts. There were outposts. The outpost nerf that came in, they went from 1,000 health down to 750. The wooden fortress had 2,000 health because it was, considered like a super outpost. It didn't get hit by that nerf, so it still has that 2,000 health. When you're used to like other outposts having 750, this thing is like it's insane. It's what does it work out to be, like 2.66 times more health than what a normal outpost has. So you have to give this a lot more respect, and I don't think you've got the military numbers right here as the Abbasid to challenge this. Realistically, you can put these vills inside the outpost, pop them out, throw down the torches, jump them back in. It depends how good Faye's micro is. That's going to be the key factor here. If Faye's got the ability to micro this well, she can 100% take this battering ram out with no issue whatsoever. We've got ranged armor going to be coming in as well for our careless Abbasid player. And the numbers starting to build here. Faye looking like she should be able to defend this without too much of a problem. And of course, we've got militia coming to save the day. And this is going to buy Faye time, because the militia obviously have a timer on them, another 53 seconds remaining. And that's going to force the Abbasid player back. He's going to say, well, I want to wait for those militia to die. But while I'm waiting for those militia to die, Faye's going to keep building up the units. And now all of a sudden, that battering ram, I've just wasted a whole bunch of resources on it. So very quickly, we begin to see that our careless Abbasid player is indeed quite careless in their decision making here. So Faye definitely looking to punish this play early on. We'll ride on board on the other side of the map though, and take a look at how our careless player was starting to do. The traders are making their way across the map. In fact, adding quite a few traders here. Does have the market close to the to the trading post, which is the correct play. Militia coming in, 14 seconds left on these bad boy knights, just doing God's work down on the south side, taking all of this out, and all of the militia just die in a heartbeat. Was that 14 seconds? Did Faye just delete all of these militia? Surely not. I mean, a mangonel shot didn't come through and take them all out, but I guess they ran out of time. I guess that was it. Anyway, look at the knight, and I think this is part of the reason why it's very hard to trade against civilizations that have got access to the knight or the sofa early on. So mainly, the main risk that you're going to have is just like the Malians, the French, the Rus. It's very hard to trade up against them. And I'd almost be tempted just to say don't bother trading against them, just because they can punish it so easily. It's so difficult trying to deal with knights because you can't protect your entire trade line. They can hit you down here, they can hit you up towards this position, they can hit you in the middle. There's so many different spots that they can hit you from. And worst case scenario, they're just going to be running away from your horsemen and just taking a couple stabs. But look, they're going to have spears, they're going to have archers waiting for you eventually when they do retreat back to that position. You can see not a whole lot of damage comes through on this, and compared to the amount of damage you're able to do, just remember, Faye's going to be able to run in knights somewhere else down the line. And how do you keep up with this? Realistically, how do you keep up with this as a defending Abbasid player? So I definitely think there are matchups where trade makes a lot of sense, and there are matchups where it doesn't. And this is one of those ones where it's like, trade probably doesn't make as much sense here just against this, unless you can somehow find a way to wall and segment off your base. Then it becomes relevant, right? Like, you throw a wall down here, you throw a wall between these, you throw a wall between here, you throw a wall here. You've actually got a pretty wallable trade line. I'm going to be honest with you. This is actually a really nice trade line. And you've got double front forest as well, which help you out with the walls as well. So I would say, as the Abbasid player, look, you want to go for trade, then you're going to need to wall a little bit more. And then that's going to help you out. But we'll switch it over now so you guys can see the economic statistics here. Phalanx going to be coming through for our Abbasid player. A lot of gold in the bank as well, obviously, as these traders do eventually make their way through. But look at Faye. She's just chilling out, just biding her time. Down to 4 traders here, and that's exactly what she wants to be doing, making sure that the Abbasid enemy isn't getting. I guess the way is like, have you guys ever seen what happens to like a diesel? I can't remember where it's called, but a diesel engine has this thing where it kind of like it just goes crazy. Google search it, crazy diesel engine, and it will come up. And basically, this thing it just loses. Like, you lose the control of it. I can't remember what it is. I think it's a runaway diesel engine, essentially. And basically, you can't stop it. It gets locked into a repeating cycle until the point where it just destroys itself. I don't actually know the mechanics of it or how it happens. I just know that it happens. But the point is, right, like, trade can get to that point where it becomes a diesel engine and it's like a freight train. You just can't stop it. And it doesn't matter how hard you try and put the brakes on, unless you're dropping like a keep on top of the market or like getting a stone wall in on the trading post. You're not going to be able to do much. And take a look at the archer numbers here coming out for Faye. At the same time, Knight's going to be doing a decent job to defend here against the enemy horsemen. Just looking to try and clean them up. At the same time, Archer's coming out from the Abbasid player, looking to push this back. +1 are through. Faye with no upgrades here, but the knight numbers are what are going to be able to capitalize in this situation. Now, remember, Phalanx came through a bit earlier, but where are those spears? Where are those spears? Those spears are chasing away all of those raids, and you can see that now Faye is able to really capitalize on that, able to continue pushing through, look to hit on that trade line. And you can see that's exactly where her attention is. She could even look to try and take out this closer market, the proxy market, the most important part of taking out this attack. No ranged armor still through for Faye here. A couple of scouts going to be able to tank up the damage. Nice use of the scouts there by our careless Abbasid player. And Downtown are going to be able to hold it down for the moment. So, little defensive position. The pocket is building, as well as those archer numbers. They're starting to look good. Any sign of a castle age at this point doesn't really look like it. Food economy still needs to be worked on, that's for sure. A great micro coming through from our Abbasid player. This is quite a pivotal moment here, because this is going to determine whether trade is going to be allowed towards the mid game. And you can see the trader going to come out, obviously going to be losing its life very quickly. No, Faye, turn around. I would have just taken that trader. Take it out with me. So I feel like at this point, one of the key things that the Abbasid is not doing that they need to be doing is segmenting off the trade line, right? Like, this is where we talk about controlling the narrative. What that means is we get a nice wall that goes from here all the way onto this wood line. And now all of a sudden, you don't have your enemy pushing up here. And if they do start pushing up here, then you've got time. You've got time to rotate towards that position. You also want to look to wall off the front of your base. In fact, you don't have to, but this is obviously an option for you. But then you want to send a villager down here and make sure that you're walling off in between these tree lines. Just so, oh my lord, we got ourselves quite the army beginning to move out. And these militia could actually be committed to this market down the south side. And then you've got yourself a real problem. But essentially, you want to try and control the places that you can be attacked right now by by the Rus player. And that means walling up, because obviously they can siege through your walls. But the point is that it gives you time to respond, gives you time to react, it gives you time to pull back your traders the same way that our Abbasid player has just pulled back this trader. And that's what's key, because right now, you're getting pulled apart by Faye, and Faye's doing such a wonderful job with her units, just making sure that the enemy's being attacked on multiple fronts. And you can see that our Abbasid player is having a difficult time, despite being a Conqueror 3, top 50 player, still having a tough time at dealing with the amount of multitasking that's coming through from Faye. So we'll ride on board with our Abbasid player and see how they're doing, because they're looking to go up to Castle Age shortly. The question's going to be whether they can get that gold through. With the market going down, it's going to leave their home market as the House of Wisdom, which is never what you want to be having. Really small amount of resources coming through there. Numbers starting to build for Careless at this point in time. Nice little infantry composition, all upgrades coming through, all tier 1 upgrades coming through. That's that gold that we talked about earlier that's going to be paying for all those. And this is definitely, I feel like the composition that you want to be going in this matchup as the Abbasid is just Spear Archer. I think that's fine. The main issue that you're going to have is just dealing with the heavy Archer composition from the Rus. Obviously, because they've got access to the Wooden Fortress, which is going to be empowering all of these wood deposits. So they're going to have a lot more wood than you. But I guess you've always got trade as an option. That's one thing to note. Where are those spears? Where are those spears? 5 knights going to be running in now. And Faye just looking to try and clean up this position. Falls back away from the spearmen that are coming through. Only a single spearman for the moment. And now another pivotal battle, because this is where the food is. If you can stop the Abbasid player collecting from this food, it means that they're going to have to resort to going onto farms. You've got the option for deer down towards the south, but realistically, with the presence of knights everywhere, it'd be hard trying to justify that. And now the archer numbers starting to really build here for Faye. She's up to 24 archers, continuing to funnel units across the map. You can see right now, four knights in queue. And now putting pressure onto the villagers. Once these villagers go down, Faye's going to be in a wonderful spot. Together, the villagers going down and the lack of food, it's going to stall out completely on Careless as the Abbasid player. Spear's going to be an interesting decision going into such heavy amounts of horsemen here. But it does seem to be working for Careless at this point. We'll ride on board with Faye and see how she's doing as she begins to add her first farms in. She's done a really good job of just moving out and around the map. I love the outposts that she's got on the edges of the map. Just 4 villages here, 4 villages here, 7 villages back there. Just really trying to diversify her food income. And now a couple knights. She spots out more food gathering villages. She could turn her attention towards that side. Obviously, if you bring your units up towards this side, then it's going to tell your enemy. Oh my lord, 25 worker kills so far for Faye. Faye just doing a really nice job. I think it goes to show, right, like 25 worker kills and we're still even on villager count. I think it really goes to show how much work a non-trading player has to put in to shut down a trading player. Now, to be fair, there were things that Careless could have done to prevent the trade from being shut down. And by the same token, there was probably more things that Faye could have done to have shut down the trade. But she did a great job, considering what was thrown out. So that's definitely well done by her, but we enter into the cinematic mode as the Rus militia push forward with the knights. Archers on the back line looking to tee off. Villagers managed to make it out up towards that top side. And now the militia are going to be going underneath the town center. Faye still on the hunt for more villagers. She is relentless right now. Just looking for villagers, looking to massacre any villagers she can find. Second town center going to be going up here for Careless as well. And now slowly but steadily moving around with the knights on the back side of the base. Still trading. Don't tell me you're making traders. I really hope you're not making traders with this trade route. One of the things that you could be doing here if you really wanted to was trading to the top corner of the map. You just put a market up here and trade to it. The issue that you might have is that Faye might spot it out. Actually, she doesn't have line of sight. I think the knights might be looking for it. Definitely going to be an option. A little bit of an interesting decision to lead with the spears. Normally in this situation, you want to try and lead with the archers. But against this kind of archer ball, there's a lot of archers here. Knight's going to be coming through. Age Up going to be coming through for Faye as well. And Horseman going to be trying to get onto the back line. Knight's doing a great job of running a screen. But the numbers just don't seem to be here for our Abbasid player. Towards the top side of the base, more units going to be roaming in. Faye obviously well and truly aware that there might be trade onto that top side. So just wants to make sure that there is no threat of it. Still looking to loop around. Looks like a couple of horsemen might be able to make the difference here. And Faye definitely doing a decent job of keeping the micro going down. But at the same time, Careless should be able to clean up this position. Very, very nice from Careless. The problem that Careless is going to have is that Faye is on the way to Castle Age. Only 5 villagers, so it's going to be slow. But I'm impressed she managed to find the resources to do it. Knight coming in. You can see all of the horsemen being baited onto this Knight. Big mistake. You just want to run these horsemen straight past the Knight. Don't worry about the Knight. Because remember that those horsemen have got double damage against ranged units. So you just want to be getting the maximum amount of value you can. More villagers going to get picked off. Faye doing a wonderful job there. 34 worker kills this game by Faye. I tell you what, if she hadn't been taking out all these workers, she'd be up shit creek without a paddle. That is for sure. She's on 61 workers. 52 for the enemy. When you consider the difference, and still we've got worker kills happening right now. Oh gosh, there's been a massive raid back here. But 36 plus 51, you're looking at 87. So you'd be talking a 25 villager difference here if it wasn't the case, which would be well and truly in favor of Careless. But the age up now comes through. Look to see upgrades coming through for Faye now. Expect to see veterancy on the Knights. Expect to see a good game getting called as Faye taps, or forces rather, the tap out from Careless. Fellas, ladies and gentlemen, NB, go and check out Faye. I'm going to leave a link in the description to where you can watch her live. Streaming over on Twitch. She might even be live right now. Go say good day from me. And of course, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.